Today, I'm about to tell you that this is my favorite place to be. Yeah, where I live, it's my favorite place to be, and I'm grateful that I am here. Come with me. So, sometime in October, my province had the teachers of the elementary school, that's the elementary school teachers of my province, we are on strike for 3 weeks because the teachers wanted to be paid more. Unfortunately, the government did not grant that request. And as a parent with children in elementary school, we were supposed to get or have the kids paid about $150 per week. It happened that as a parent, you're supposed to enroll for that payment, set up your page, submit your application, and get paid, right? I was so busy with work and life, and also my family had some project coming up, so I was really committed and all of that. I was so busy, and I could not spare a time to submit that application. Expiration for application submission was supposed to be December the 1st. What happened was that I started the application sometime in November. However, I couldn't submit. What happened? Because I was going to move to a new address. I was moving. My family were moving to a new place, and I had an existing address of my first place where I lived in Canada on my driver's license, which was my means of identification. I couldn't submit that application because I needed to update my address. So for me to update the address on my kids' school page and website, I needed to update the address on my license. So I went to the registry to update my license. I thought it was something that would take a few days. Unfortunately, it took more than that. So it took a couple of weeks. So I couldn't submit that application. When I called them on the phone, they told me that, if you don't submit your application before the 1st of December, you may likely not be able to get that money for your kids. I felt bad because I felt like I was denying my kids opportunity that they would have gotten. I felt like I was losing something. But you know what? The devil has a way of making you feel good in your mind. I told myself, after all, if I do overtime, a couple of hours, I will get the money back. But it doesn't work that way. At some point, I was like, okay, let me see what happens. Let me leave it to fate. So what happened? After I updated after like 3 weeks, I got my driver's license with a new address on it. I went to my kids' school website, updated their address and their informations. And after that, sometime in February, I got an email. Voila. And email says, go and complete your application for this payment. I was like, oh, it looks like there's finally light at the end of the tunnel. So I went to the page and completed the application, and I submitted it. And it was taking quite a long time for them to pay. I was thinking, once you submit it, it's going to take a couple of days. That didn't happen. In my mind, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm going to write to the member of parliament to say this was my ordeal, and unfortunately, this is what it is right now. I said, okay, let me give them some time. Let's see whether something can happen. And also, I was very busy as well. So it was taking me a while too to submit that request to the member of parliament. So what happened? A couple of days ago, I was at work. I just saw an email saying a certain amount of money was deposited in my account. Honestly, I immediately wanted to call my bank because I was not expecting any money at that time. I have even forgotten about it. And you know what happened? I was calling my bank to say, hey, please, somebody paid money into my account. I don't know how that money got into my account. Please, can you remove it or forward it back to the person? My innocent soul, you say, right? You know what happened? I took my time to read the details on the deposit. And guess what? It was what I was expecting. The money for my 2 kids in elementary school. Man, government of Alberta, that was what I saw on the deposit, and I told myself, this is the right place to be. They're not going to cheat you. They will give you what is right. What is your right, what they think you need, and what they think that you deserve. I gave up since October, November last year. In March, I got it. And I told my kids, you needed to see the excitement in their voice. They were so excited, because I told them what happened. I needed to tell them, right? Like, I'm sorry, you guys were supposed to get this amount, but I could not because of blah, 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 blah. And you know what? They were so excited. I was also excited because I have been thinking of how do I make my RESP contribution this year for my kids. And I can tell you, that amount is going to go a long way in the RESP. What I'm trying to tell you is that don't give up. Keep fighting. Don't give up. And that thing you're supposed to do it at the right time. For the fact that I started the application before the deadline, the government of Alberta still remembered me and gave me that opportunity. So at some point I was wondering, could it be that somebody submitted an advocacy request? Maybe somebody that was, experiencing the same ordeal or similar ordeal that I was having with delays in submitting application. Probably the person who wrote to the member of parliament, and the government felt that if you have started the application at some point, you should be qualified to get that benefit. I felt so valued. Like, this country valued me, valued my kids, and everything that pertains to me. And I can tell you, this is the right place to be. And I'm excited and happy that I am here. Thank you to the government of Alberta. Thank you to the government of Canada. Love.